Good morning, Green Spring. On this day, Monday, March 7, 2016, my name is Vince Ainger. I am your host for this segment, and I'm very pleased to have in the studio today the Reverend Lois Kraft, who is the manager of Pastoral Ministries. And welcome, Lois. Lois is no stranger to Channel 6.
Yes,
welcome
thank you,
back.
Vince.
Welcome
Good
back.
morning.
Now, the Reverend Lois, we call you Lois.
Uh-huh.
How irreverent of us. Anyway, I'm Vince, and you're Lois. So you're going to bring us updates.
I am going to bring you updates.
Okay, good.
And I think I've started out a couple times saying, just what a good privilege it is to be here, and certainly to share with you and with the entire Green Spring community all that is going on in Pastoral Ministries, both in Pastoral Ministries and through all of our faith communities. There's just some really good work that's being done, some good ministering that's being done, just as a part of the life of our community.
Sure.
And I wanted to mention, just as I kind of go into this, that we now have Jeannie Hennepin,
Yes.
who is the Minister of Pastoral Care with Green Spring Fellowship, came on board last August and had served in a contractual capacity. But as of February 15th, she is now a Green Spring employee.
Yeah, good.
So lots of good news and especially as it relates to how we do ministry together. Sure. It's just a really, I think it'll make us more effective. We'll be able to share more. Jeannie is no stranger to this community. She worked in Pastoral Ministries several years ago.
Oh.
And left. Her husband is a foreign services officer, so left when he had to move, and then had come back as a contractor. So we're just delighted to have her as a part of our team. So for people who are looking for her, they can find her in the Pastoral Ministries office. She's in one of the offices where she's sharing space, but it's just really great to have her as a part of us. Sure. In this capacity. Our Interfaith Council is very, very active. They meet once a month. They meet the first Wednesday of every month, and have been meeting in that regard probably for about a year and a half, and it's worked very well. And they are working on several events that we will sponsor as an interfaith community this year. The first, which will be held in May, it'll be our National Day of Prayer, and more information will be coming out about that. But it's just really nice to have that kind of, when you get people together of various faiths, all kinds of beliefs, various spiritual beliefs. It's just nice to be able to work with such a really good group of people. And even though we have those different beliefs, we work very well together. So,
sure.
And I can't say enough good things about that group. It's just good to be a part of it. I appreciate all of their support, and it's also a forum for, when we meet, for us to let each other know. Each of the faith groups can let the other groups know what they have going on, so that we can support each other. So I just appreciate the Interfaith Council. And then we have another piece that we're working on, just a bit of information that will be made available a little later. But we're working on a series based on a book called The Lord is My Shepherd. And I'm working with Shirley Bush on our Jewish Council.
Sure.
And we might also be able to tie in one of our social workers to present a piece from a Muslim point of view. But we have a series where we'll be having Rabbi Bruce Aft come back in and lead us through a discussion on The Lord is My Shepherd. So we're really excited about that. But again, much more information coming later. But I want to dig in a little bit to what we have going on for the remainder of March.
Okay. Let me I ask one question
Sure,
first?
sure.
And I'm not sure I know how to ask this question.
Okay.
We have Pastoral Ministries. We have an Interfaith
Yes.
Council. What else do we have? How large? How big a group is this?
You know, I've tried to, I actually have an organizational structure to show because it's very complex and it's difficult for some people to even get how complex it is. But we have 6 different faith communities here on campus. Yeah. We have the Interfaith Council that meets on a regular basis, and we do some things together. And so out of those individual faith communities, we have faith community leaders that constitute that particular council. But it's very, very large. There are 8 of us now that are considered Green Spring employees. Some of us are, it's another layer under that where they're a Green Spring employee, but they're working with the village church, or they're working with the Catholic community, or they're working with Green Spring Fellowship. So it's very complex. I wish I had the chart with me, but
I've distracted you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'm laughing because honestly, I've had that conversation with several people, and even as they go through the structure of Pastoral Ministries, they're still, you know, I don't get it, but it's a lot to it. I think that what I like is that I came in as the minister of visitation with the village church, so it enabled me to understand it at a grassroots level, and so certainly to be able to understand it organizationally. But it's very robust, I think very healthy, and I think we're able to offer a lot of good things to the residents because of that.
Sure, and you are located below the chapel.
Located in Canterbury Square, on the T level, the building adjacent to the chapel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
But for this month, in one of this first session that I'm going to talk about, science and religion, we've actually already had the first 2 sessions. So this information would have gone out in all the resident cubbies, but at each of the 2 sessions, we've had probably about 60 people who've come to the Village Square Theater. John Ribicki has been our guest speaker and has had a lot of wonderful information. And certainly it's not that everybody comes to the table believing everything, but it's facilitated really good discussion. So we've been looking forward to, and I see it's on the screen, we're looking forward to for John to come back and just present that final session. It's just been wonderful. We do have handouts if people miss the first 2 sessions that we can make available through Pastoral Ministries.
Is there really a conflict? The answer is, it should be no. I don't know why. Isn't that the short answer?
Oh yeah, we'll go with that.
But he's going to talk about it anyway.
He's going to talk about it.
Okay.
And then certainly all the faith communities are doing several things as it relates to Easter coming up. I know that the Jewish community had a session on Wednesday, March 2nd. They were showing the movie Jaffa, and so hopefully that one was very well attended, very well supported. And then we have, in addition to some of the Easter things that are coming up, we have the Village Church and the Episcopal Anglican community are hosting, and I believe it's the 3rd year, for the 3rd consecutive year, the Washington Metropolitan Youth Orchestra. They have been, I mean, a wonderful group of young people, beautiful music. I wasn't able to attend the event last year, but I came the first year, and it was packed. So very, very just beautiful music, and certainly encourage people to come out for that on March the 15th. Of course, Reverend Dr. Lynn Kalkorf's Passion Play that he does every year on March 23rd and March 24th. But just a lot of good things going on in the faith communities, and they're making additional, plans for events that they'll have later on in the year. I know that the Catholic community is also planning for its springtime luncheon that will be held in April. And I'd like to just spend a few minutes talking about a session that I have been working with Reverend Miriam Gentle, who is with the Village Church, and Ingrid Calcagno, who is our administrative assistant, as well as some discussions with intermissions. And we're doing a series entitled Spirituality and Art. I've had separate conversations with intermissions as well as with Reverend Gentle about what we could do, something that we could do hands-on in our community. So we're actually doing 4 sessions beginning on March the 15th, and the flyers are already posted on the boards, but we're inviting people to come, and we will have to limit the space for it. But for example, our first session on March 15th, and there's a main theme, and then there's 4 sessions. The main theme is art as a reflection of our spiritual journey. In life, I think that there are a lot of things that are connected with art and with music,
yes.
and even history and some other things. And so we're looking at how all of those pieces work together. On March the 15th, we're doing our first session, and the title of that one is Creativity and Our Faith Journey. We have a guest speaker coming in for that, Dr. Sarah McHugh, who is a professor at Georgetown University, and she's co-founder of something called the Remembering Site. She has lots of other accolades, lots of other credentials that we couldn't put on the flyer,
sure.
but encourage people, if they have any desire whatsoever, to sign up by calling Pastoral Ministries. The telephone number that they should call is 604-4218. And that's for all of these sessions. Our second session will be Praying in Color, using art as a form of meditation and prayer. The third session is Creative Women, and this is the session where we're focusing on Women's History Month. Certainly knowing that March is Women's History Month, we want to honor the women. We want to honor the creativity of women. We will be providing lunch at that session. And then our final session will be using art to cope with grief. I'm a big believer in things that we can do artistically and things that we can do musically just that are therapeutic for us.
Sure.
It's like gardening and so many other things. And so we're going to have hands-on projects. So at each of the sessions, we will have materials for all of the residents to actually create something that they will be able to have a finished product and take it with them after this final session. They'll have a complete project. I've been admiring this artwork over here that I was told that Elke Martin created, just looking at all the colors and how, the thought that went into to creating that. And certainly I know that, art is different things to different people, but that people will have the opportunity to come and just through prayer, through meditation, through reflecting, through music. We will have music at the event as well, so just look forward to a really, really good session.
Yeah, good. A week ago, maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, I interviewed a couple of young ladies.
Okay.
They were therapists, art therapy, music therapy, and I told them that if I came, I'm likely to cry. The same thing with grief. Sure. So I asked them, what do you do with an 82-year-old guy who comes and starts crying? What do you do with an 82-year-old guy? Okay.
But those feelings are real. Those feelings are real.
Yes,
and,
they are. Absolutely.
And everybody cries. Everybody experiences, give people the opportunity to express that in a way that is best for them. I tell people all the time, we don't deny how we feel, and I'll tear up, and if I tear up, I do, and I think it speaks to our humanity and our ability to feel things.
It's a blessing if you can cry.
Yes, it really is.
I always thought of myself as a tough old football player. If at 82 years old you can cry, I think it means there's some sort of hope for me as a human being.
There you go.
All right. We're down to a couple minutes, Lois, and I don't know. Have you covered everything? You think?
I'll
Anything
never,
else?
I don't think I'll ever cover everything.
Okay.
I've covered everything on this sheet of paper, but but for all the events, and certainly we don't want to overwhelm people with too many events, but we certainly want to be able to offer different things. You know, some events might appeal to one person, and another type of event appeals to someone else. So we want to offer just a variety of things. If there are things that that residents need that have not been offered in the community, we encourage you to let us know. I love receiving feedback, other things that residents would like to see happen, other ideas and things that people have that, and maybe we can't do it right away, but we can work on it and get it done, and for me, if it's doable, we'll get it done. That's my goal, to be able to offer things that are meaningful, that are inspirational, that are encouraging, and that really are a blessing, to the spiritual life at Green Springs. So please give us your comments, give us all of your feedback, whatever it is, we do want to hear from the residents.
Yeah. Good.
So.
I don't know if we have enough time. I'm kind of interested in learning more about Len Kalkworth's Passion Play.
Yes.
Is this a one-person?
It's his production. He
has to play several roles.
He's a producer.
Yeah.
And I know that there are some people who have played certain roles for several years.
Yes.
Like, for example, I know that Pastor Jim Bell is playing the role of Jesus and has done that for a few years.
Okay.
But but it's his production, and I think that it's very well attended. When we did a survey a few years ago, when we did a channel, it was then Channel 56, now Channel 2, in terms of the most watched programs, and his production, his play, was the most watched that people told us about in this community.
Yeah.
So I think it speaks well to the appeal of that production. So.
Yeah. My only theatrical experience was in high school. I was drafted to play the role of a centurion.
Oh, okay.
They gave me 2 words to speak.
Oh.
So I'm getting the wrap. Yes, I think I'm getting the wrap up sign here. Lois, I thank you so much for coming.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I hope that you have a lot of interest, and a lot of people take part.
Yes.
And we will wrap it up there. Thank you, Green Spring, for being with us, and tune in tomorrow again.